Good morning, guys. How we doing? Happy Friday. End of another week. Flying through, right? So, listen, I want you to answer this question. It's not even a question. It's more of an awareness thing. So, in the comments, what I want you to put is, I want you to score what you are showing up at out of 10. Now, 10 is like, I'm showing up like a demon. I'm on fire. I'm all over it. And 0 is that I'm not showing up at all. All right? And you can't score yourself 7. So you are either in the bracket of 1 to 6 or 8 to 10. So in the comments, I want you to, and let's base it on so far this year. All right, so we're about 7 weeks in. So 7 weeks in, out of 10, what are you showing up at? 10 being a ninja, 0 being very poor. You can't score yourself 7. Sort it out, Boardman. Welcome to the Rise to Thrive show. I am your host, James Boardman. And if you are coming through, then please do hit the love heart button. Please do comment that you're here and put your score in. And please do share this with someone that you know. Got the Elite Mastermind guys coming down today. We've got guys coming down as far as Scotland. They'll be driving all through the night. Do a little round table, a little fireside chat, a little hot seat, get these guys moving in the right direction, right? So I'm really excited about that today. So today I want to talk about how the wrong time to work on yourself is always the right time, or certainly challenge that thought process, okay? Or certainly challenge that thought process. So I find that men, in my experience of having worked with them for 10, 12 years, not necessarily always with the man coach, but in the military, with professional sportsmen, with whoever it has been, has always tended to go the opposite way to the direction that's going to help them when it gets tough. So when things happen in people's lives, you know, life is chaos, man. There is very few moments where you get the eye of the storm. Now, the eye of the storm for me is that period of calm. Okay, all amongst the storm, there's that circle, that big loop, and when that comes over your head, everything is calm, everything is quiet. And we very rarely have that in life. We very rarely have that in life, that moment, and we have them every now and then. And in amongst those moments, we are ensuring or trying to build a lifestyle or a mentality that allows us to cope better. Sometimes we don't cope better, so we drink more. We become more stressed and angry. We become more bitter and negative. You only have to look at the comments of some of my ads to see those guys that are in that position, right? And why do we go the opposite way? Why do we run away? Why do we think, right, I've got this going on, this going on, this going on, this going on, so I just won't do anything. And often, like, for me, character is built through adversity. When it's all going Pete Tong for you, when things are not going the way you want, that's when we should be showing up. Not waiting for, I'm just going to wait for the right moment. I'm just going to wait for that moment, or I'm just going to wait for things to calm down. I'm just going to wait till I've saved £400,000 in my bank account to feel secure. I'm just going to wait till the energy prices come down. I'm just going to wait till COVID finishes. I mean, we're going waiting for the rest of our lives. The next thing you know, somebody will be helping you wipe your ass on the toilet, and you're still waiting for the right moment. You know what I mean? Like, we can go through that, and it becomes a cycle and a habit of excuse making. Yeah, sure, we're not, like, you know, there are, I think, some circumstances where we're not necessarily ready, but man, if we are going to really change our lives and change the game, we've got to start getting used to facing hardship. And we do that with positive outcomes, positive habits. And that's what I say to, like, a lot of my guys, is how you show up through adversity defines your character, defines how successful you're going to be. Just because we're facing hardship shouldn't mean that we are going the opposite way to where we're meant to be, right? And yes, it is hard, man. It's tough. It's really difficult to get yourself up, to really work on yourself for 1% a day. Do you know what I mean? We have lots of people that are within my elite mastermind, my normal mastermind, my accelerators, are all going through something. Somebody's family is very, very ill. Somebody else has got something going on. There are breakups. There are things going on. But actually, what defines that individual and that guy is how they show up and their attitude. It's like, right, victim mentality, no thanks. Victor mentality, bring it on. Let's go. I'm ready. And I often think to myself, I think about the times when I wasn't doing so well after the military. Those 3 years when I left the military, and I was mentally on my backside, you know, and I was very much going the opposite. I was going the opposite direction to the way that I needed to go. I was crumbling under the stress and frustration and not really knowing who I was and what my purpose was, and it was very, very tough, you know, going through that period of time of that PTSD of trying to figure out who I was. So when I'm talking to you about it, it's not like I've just read a book on it and going, oh my God, you know, this is really what I think we should do. Like, this is like experience, personal experience talking. This is experience of working with blokes, men, full stop, since 2004. Like, since I've been a Royal Marine, I've been around men. I've trained like professional rugby teams and cricket teams and worked out the mentality and the mindset of why they're not showing up and how external forces affect their performance. So listen, the way that we shift things, the way that we get through the adversity is to build up a coping mechanism, and you're only going to get to that coping mechanism if you're heading in the right direction, if you're being proactive, if you're not burying your head and hiding away from those issues. Because then what we start doing is building a level of conditioning. Like when you go to the gym and you lift that bicep curl, boom, 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 and you do it for 4, 5, 6, 7 months, and then suddenly you're flexing, you're like, whew, look at them. And that's the same with your coping mechanism in here, right? That's the same as your coping mechanism in here. If you're not going to the gym and you're not lifting the weights, you're not going to build the bicep. If you're not showing up and doing what we should be doing and learning how to cope and be more organised and be more planned, or just feel more positive and driven in life, even if it's just for small elements, then you're not going to build that coping mechanism. Alright, so listen, if you're in that position where you've got loads going on and you're using it for excuse, just take a good look in the mirror and say, look, it's time to quit that mentality. It's time to stop using it as an excuse, using it as a barrier to break through. Use it as fire. Use it as energy. Use it as passion and drive and desire to smash through it. Because that's what will create you, and you will be 10 times more proud of yourself than running away and saying I can't do it, or saying it's too much and saying I'll come back later. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're really honest, I reckon that a large majority of people that watch this are hiding. Like, and we've got to face it. We've got to face it. And it's very, very difficult. And it is very difficult. Which is why we run the mastermind, right? This is why we run a community of men trying to move themselves forward, so we can keep supporting, keep pushing, keep driving. It's even harder when you're alone. You know. And that's hopefully what these Rise to 5 shows do. They give you a little bit of a lift. And some of the other content that we do, and we've got a free masterclass coming up in March, okay, which if you haven't registered for, you can on this page. That's totally free. Building Purposeful Direction. That's another thing that's going to help you get out your rut. Amigos, I hope you have a great weekend. You're not going to see me at all over the weekend. I'm just dying down my socials for a couple of weeks to give myself a break, and then have some family time for half term next week. Ready for a build up and lots of training coming up towards the end of the month and beginning of March. So thank you for watching. Appreciate you being here. Monday morning 5:30. Remember, get your notification set to receive live. So as soon as this finishes, there'll be a little bell in the top right. Hit that bell. Make sure that you get whatever notifications you want if you want to keep showing up and being told that I'm live. Have a good one.